Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to episode 4 of our great Kiwi Bake Off Bake Along series. This week was bread week. I love bread and I thought it was time to bring in a special guest. It's my dad!
Hey!
This is my dad Phil.
Kia ora.
And last year, he quit his job to set up a wood-fired pizza truck in which he sells lots of delicious things at the Kerikeri market. Go and visit him and say hi. But today, he's going to share one of his secret recipes with us. What are we making?
Well, this is one of my favourites and it sells out pretty much every weekend. It is a lovely focaccia dough, and when we sell it, it's lovely and crispy on the outside and fluffy in the middle, and then jam-packed with yummy, yummy goodness.
And we're going to try it with some yummy, yummy goodness at the very end of this video, so stay tuned. But first, we're going to get started on some dough. Yes?
Indeed.
Let's go. It's a super easy, no need focaccia dough, and we're starting with our dry ingredients.
We are indeed, and it is a very easy recipe. So we're going to start with our flour. This is bread flour. Then I'm going to add my salt and my instant yeast. We're just going to whisk the dry ingredients here. That way we avoid any clumps of salt or anything, and that way it's a little bit nicer to eat. After that, we're going to pour in our water. And once that goes in, we're going to just simply get a wooden spoon and we are going to mix it all together. Now, you don't have to be too precious about this. As long as we've incorporated pretty much all of the dry ingredients, it's nice and sloppy, and it's better if you actually use a slightly bigger bowl. Otherwise, from experience, you find yourself decorated well and truly in flour dust. Next, Anna is going to add in the olive oil into the mixture.
What kind of oil do you use, Dad?
This is extra virgin olive oil. This is good because then you get that lovely nutty taste.
Yum. How do we mix it in?
Well, this is where you get your hands well and truly dirty. You're just going to basically incorporate the oil into the dough mixture. You can see it's pretty much picking absolutely everything up. And again, we're not needing to do too much. Did you get my lovely joke? Not needing to do too much. So we're just basically just a little bit of folding. Try and trap a bit of air into the dough because that's actually quite helpful during the process a little bit later on.
It smells good. I can smell the oil. You
can smell it. It's good. It is good.
I'm so excited.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put it onto the workbench. Nice clean one. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a couple of folds. So I'm going to start further away from me, pull it into me, the bit closest to me over, and then just tuck it under. Then move it around. And I'm just going to repeat this process 3 times.
And what's the purpose of the fold?
For the fold is we're just trying to trap a little bit of air in here to help with the start of the process of the proofing, of the fermentation.
Awesome.
So I feel like this is ready now. And we're now just going to put it into a clean bowl, but lined with a tiny bit of olive oil. I'm just going to I put it fold side down, straight into the bowl like that. And then Anna, if you could please get the tea towel.
Like a magic trick.
We're just going to cozy it all up for an hour. Let it have a rest and let it do its magic.
Ta-da! So our dough's been resting for an hour. What's next?
Well, I'd like you to close your eyes.
Right.
Hold your hands out, palms up. And here's a lovely, give your hands a little bit of a rub. And now we're just going to pour this dough onto the bench.
Perfect.
Just going to scoop it up in one action if you can. It's got knots, so now you can see all the lovely fibres. And then what I'd like Anna to do is just do the same fold that we did before. This time starting from away from you, coming towards the centre, and the same from here, and tuck it under. Trapping that lovely air. You can now see it's really started to sort of hold its shape, but also it is definitely sort of working.
And it feels really like it's soft.
Because it's definitely increased in size, and that's creating that lovely gluten that we need for later on to get those beautiful air pockets. So Anna's just going to put the fold side down and put it into the bowl. And just cover it up a little bit and let it have a little snuggle and go back to sleep for only about 15 minutes.
Perfect amount of time for a cup of tea.
I think a glass of wine, don't you?
Maybe just wash my hands.
Yeah, a glass of wine. See ya.
We're back! This is why he doesn't go anywhere in public with me. Ready?
Oh yeah, sorry, just doing my hair.
Right, so 15 minutes later.
Oh, it's looking happy. Nice and relaxed and chilled out.
Like me.
Oh, yeah, exactly like you. Nice few bubbles forming here, looking really lovely. And all I'm going to do is just gently scoop it out and put it onto the tray.
And you've got a nice grease tray here with some baking paper in the bottom?
I put a tiny bit of olive oil in here. The secret to this dish is a little bit of olive oil. But all I'm going to do is just do a little drizzle on top of here, little zigzag. Harry Potter will be very proud of that scar. And now all I'm going to do is gradually push it down. This isn't my final push. This is just to sort of get the right shape as it snuggles up for its final sleep overnight. No knead dough needs long fermentation.
So it's going in the fridge overnight. It's going for a little sleepover with the mayo.
You can do it quicker, but it doesn't taste as good.
Yeah, we want the best one.
So just finish the pushing down into the tray here, and the final thing, all I'm going to do is wrap it with a little bit of cling film, put it over the top of it, so that we can put it into the fridge for its final rest overnight, and then we'll do the rest of that tomorrow. There you go, Anna. That's for you to play with.
And here's one we prepared earlier. Well, you prepared earlier. I didn't do it.
Been left in the fridge overnight, and we've obviously taken off the wrap, but you can see how beautiful it is, and it started to come and meet the shape of the actual tin that we got it in. And here's some of the beautiful bubbles. You can see the action in process as it starts to warm up, and because it's got a high hydration, it's got a beautiful wobble.
Like me. So we're going to cover this back up and leave it for...
we're going to let it come to room temperature. Depending on the temperature, that's anything up to 2 hours.
Super. We'll be back then to cook it.
Yahoo! Nearly there.
I'm hungry. Whoa! So this has been resting for an hour and a half?
Yes.
And it's come up to room temperature and it's looking very nice and bubbly.
Still nice and wobbly as well, which is just what we want.
We love wobbly. So it's nearly time to cook it. But first...
Well, mine's a little bit different. If you're cooking it at home, you might just want to cook it as one whole tray. But I'm not doing that because I'm selling them as sandwiches. So I need to have them as sandwiches. So I have one of these. These are magic. It's a dough scraper, but this really, really helps. First of all, tiny bit of olive oil on either side. And just to help it, make sure it doesn't stick, we go around the edge, basically. And this helps it when we're cooking, so it helps you don't have to do as much washing up. So I pour a bit of olive oil down the side and down the side here, all the way around the edge. And the reason I just cut that is to help the olive oil seep down. And then I'll do it one more time.
Look at how the bubbles just
the bubbles,
pop up as you go
it's lovely.
in there.
And the next bit's a little bit delicate. You'll see in the corners here that the dough hasn't spread completely. So all I'm going to do is go under with my fingers and just underneath and just gradually pull to the corner.
Oh, maybe I'll do this one.
And I'm going to do the same on this side over here. And then, Anna, can you do that one for me?
Yeah. Oh, it's so soft.
It is very pillowy. And that for me is useful because we're making our sandwiches. We want everyone's to be pretty much the same. And the first thing I'm going to do in order to mark it out is it's a bit artisan-y, so it's not exact science, but I try to make it as close as I can halfway. I'm just going to score it first, and you'll see why in a second. And the same from here. This is my measuring. One day I might be able to afford the right implements. And now all I'm going to do, we're going for a triangle today?
We're going triangle.
Triangle, beautiful. So triangles, I'm just going to, again, score just to get the rough shape.
So we're making 12 lovely triangles.
12 lovely triangles. Now this part is important. Okay, so the oil comes down into those scores that I make. It's a bit like that game we used to play as a child to try and make the house without the pencil coming off the top of the piece of paper.
Looks so good.
And now I'm just going to go all the way, completely down to the bottom. And as you'll notice, the bread is kind of going, ah, get off me! And it's starting to bubble up ferociously. That's good. That's all right. We want that. We want to see it coming up.
Look at that.
And I'm just literally coming down here. And again, just to keep everything loose. Just around the edges. And one more drizzle just for good luck.
So a lot of olive oil is going in this.
Yeah, there it is.
It's going to be delicious.
But it honestly, trust me, it does actually work. We just make sure, again, I'm just going to go around here.
Perfect.
And because I got the baking paper, I don't need to worry too much around the bottom. And then as soon as that oven is hot enough, in it goes to cook, and we'll be ready to stuff them with all that yum.
So we're cooking them in the fire oven, aren't we? But at home, you could cook it at 260 degrees?
Yeah, I cook it at home at 260 Celsius for about 14 minutes. But depending on your oven, you want to check it so that it cooks evenly.
But we're going to go and take it down to the fire oven.
Oh yeah, the fire.
Let's go. Here we are, we're down in your pizza truck.
There we are with that wood-fired goodness.
Yes.
Yes, and the final stage, a bit of the secret ingredient for me, is the bit of semolina. And all we're going to do is give it a bit of a dusting over the top. And this helps with a little bit of a crunch. And straight into the oven.
I'm so excited. Ah. So Dad, like obviously we've loved cooking my whole life, we've cooked together.
Yep.
But you went from being a teacher and a principal to running a pizza van. What inspired you to take the leap?
Mixture of everything. As you know, I've always loved cooking, and all I ever knew was teaching. We went traveling and I heard all the stories from literally around the world, from all these people that followed their dreams, but also they did it because they had to. And they sort of taught me many things in life. All these people set up their own businesses, especially around food. I thought, hey, why not just give it a go? And we did. But yeah, I don't regret it. Love every second of it. It's just awesome.
Yeah, almost 1 year, hey?
It's 1 year, and like half a year before that just learning, and everything is self-taught. I haven't got a trade in it or anything, and I've just learned and trial and error and mistakes and taking feedback from people, and obviously enjoy eating it as well. So especially I love the cotters, especially in particular, so that's my favourite. I know a lot of people up here really love the pizzas on a Friday night, but for me it's the cotters that give me a lot more satisfaction. So yeah, it's great.
What advice would you give to anybody who had a passion and wanted to turn it into a business?
Well, look, hey, I'll put it this way. I was in teaching for a long time, and all that us teachers ever do or say to the tamariki is follow your dreams and follow your passions. And we rarely do as educators, so I'm trying to actually do that. I love doing what I'm doing, which is great. And hopefully that in itself will inspire others. My dad always says, this is not a dress rehearsal. You know, do the final act all the way through your life and do the best you can.
I agree. Just do it.
Just do it. Oh, look what we have here.
Oh my gosh, they smell amazing. Can we eat them now?
Nearly. One more thing to do. So if you have a little look, here it's great on this side, but it needs a little bit of firming up on this side, and this has been deliberate. because we want to make it crispy on both sides. So we're going to put that in the bottom of the pizza oven and then we'll be ready to stuff them.
So if you're at home and you've done it in your oven at home, you can do exactly the same thing. So cook it as you did for 14 minutes, take it out and leave it to cool to room temperature, and then choose as many as you want to eat, aka the whole tray. Stick them back in the oven on a really hot heat. Even better, put them on a pizza stone in a really hot oven and they'll get nice and crispy and stay nice and fluffy in the middle.
They are Moorish.
So that's
Okay, so here as you can see, it's nice and crispy on this side. And if you give it it's nice and hollow as well, which is just what you want. So we're just going to put this in here.
And then we're going to fill it with the yummy goodness.
Today we're filling it with creamy garlic mushroom with a bit of parsley parmigiano on top. And the other one we're going to be filling with my own homemade meatballs with a beautiful marinara sauce, again with parmigiano and parsley on top.
They look delicious. Can we eat them now?
I would say we can eat them now.
Which one do you want?
Meatballs every time for me.
You go meatballs, I'll go mushroom.
I'm definitely going meatballs.
I'm so excited. I'm going to bite right in the middle.
This is what it's about. Oh yeah.
I made such a mess. Whoops. That's delicious.
That's good. Look at the bubbles in that bread.
Dad, this is actually so delicious. You're right, it is fluffy on the inside, crunchy on the outside.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
I love it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And thanks, Dad, for coming on my video today.
Yeah, have a go at making them.
Absolutely. And you can check out his Instagram at The Pizza Cotta. I will link it down below. And come back next week to see what we make then. But for now,
peace. So good.